What if you transmigrated into the body of a genius boy? But a few years ago that prodigy boy became crippled while cultivating? And you transmigrated into his body. But then his fiancée breaks the door, and comes inside to kill him, seeing which our protagonist is now scared, and he does not know what he should do now. So let's see how the protagonist saves his life and starts cultivating again? The story begins and we see, the top out of 10 sacred places for cultivation in the Great Wei Dynasty is the Supreme Sword Sect. And we see the protagonist of this story who is sitting and doing his cultivation, the eldest disciple of the Supreme Sword Sect and the son of one of the 10 princes of the Great Wei Dynasty, Su Changxing. And looking at Su Changxing, one disciple smiles and says, Master Su is so young and yet he's about to break through to the half-step nascent infant stage. But another disciple gets a little angry with Su Changxing and says, it's only because he has the innate sword constitution and a good father. His achievements are simply due to his fortunate birth. And then another disciple who is very angry and has a sword in his hand, and he keeps moving towards Su Changxing and in an angry voice he says, does he think he can do whatever he wants just because of this? The reason he was able to advance today is because he stole my step treading grass. Someone like him, who bullies others and is self-centered, is simply unworthy of cultivating in our esteemed Supreme Sword Sect. Today, I will uphold justice on behalf of heaven and cleanse our sect. And to disturb the cultivation of disciple Su Changxing, he makes a dangerous attack with the sword, due to which Su Changxing's cultivation gets disturbed and demonic energy starts coming out from within him. And seeing this both the disciples are surprised, and they say, he was interrupted at a critical moment of his breakthrough. What sweet retribution! And the other disciple says, could he be falling into demonic cultivation? Then even more demonic aura starts coming out from Su Changxing's body. And seeing this the disciple understands that Su Changxing is doing demonic cultivation right now. And then a dangerous energy spreads and blood starts coming out of Su Changxing's mouth. And seeing this one disciple says, quick, someone come! It seems senior brother is in trouble. Then a master comes who starts checking Su Changxing, and when he checks he gets a shock and he says, Su Changxing's sword constitution has been destroyed, his cultivation dispersed, meaning he can no longer cultivate. Take him back to the prince's mansion. Then we see an energy at night which is probably someone's soul. After a while, Su Changxing's room in the Su County prince's mansion. Su Changxing finds a mirror and gets very shocked when he sees his face, and he says, this familiar yet unfamiliar face. It seems I really have transmigrated. Fine, even if I've transmigrated, why did I end up in the body of this guy? This Su Changxing not only has a noble status, but also possesses outstanding cultivation talent. But with such a good starting point, he still didn't follow the right path and did all sorts of evil things. He not only forcibly takes things from others, come on, bring it on. He even bullies others. You did well on the exam. Next time, don't do so well, or else there won't be any good use for you. Isn't it obvious that he's just a cannon fodder character? In my previous life, I was a good person. How did I end up reincarnating as a villain? What's even worse is, the original owner must have offended many people. Now that news of his demonic cultivation has spread, I must find a way to protect myself. It's spiritual energy. There's still hope for me. But then the spiritual energy disappears, which shocks Su Changxing even more, and he says, my sword constitution is destroyed, and my cultivation is almost gone. What if enemies come knocking on my door? Will I be done for? And then someone kicks open the door of Su Changxing's room, seeing which Su Changxing gets a little confused and he says, could it be that my enemies have really come knocking? And then a beautiful girl comes in front of him, but she has a sword in her hand and a very dangerous spiritual energy is flowing from inside her, seeing which Su Changxing is also a bit surprised and he thinks, looking at this situation, it seems the incoming person is not friendly. And then Su Changxing remembers something. And when he looks at that girl carefully, then he starts remembering some things and he remembers, I can see the plotline on her body. The girl has always been the most dazzling existence in the Zhao clan since she was young. Daddy, look! I can control the spirit fire now. Great! You are truly the most talented in our Zhao clan. Due to the immense power of the clan, she even had the qualification to be engaged to the talented son of the prince's mansion. Are you willing to marry the son of the 10th prince? As per my parents' wishes and the matchmaker's words, I am willing. But fate does not always go as desired. During a certain cultivation session, the girl suddenly encountered an accident and lost her original cultivation. How come our Zhao clan's number 1 talent has lost all spiritual energy now? Number 1 talent? I think she's the number 1 waste, haha. What completely crushed the girl was that even her fiancé didn't miss the chance to add insult to injury and personally came to break off the engagement. You are not worthy of being the first disciple of the Supreme Sword sect. From that day onwards, the girl's cultivation began to recover, so when her fiancé returned to the imperial court, she stormed into the prince's mansion to seek revenge against the scum. Alone and outnumbered, the girl ended up beaten and thrown out of the prince's mansion. With a heart as cold as ashes, she leapt off a cliff. At that critical moment, an unnamed empress appeared and saved her by swapping their positions. Under the guidance of the empress, the girl grew into an unparalleled powerhouse and claimed her fiancé as the offering she sought. This girl's name is Xiao Siyu. This plot feels so familiar. Isn't this the canon fodder in online novels who gets slapped by the male lead? I don't understand this kind of storyline. And then Su Changxing gets shocked, and he feels something and he says, "Wait a minute, Xiao Siyu? That name sounds somewhat familiar. Ah, no way. The cannon fodder is me. I remember now. The previous owner did indeed break off the engagement due to Xiao Siyu losing her cultivation. Now that I've returned to the imperial court, she's come seeking revenge." Then Xiao Siyu takes Su Changxing's name and puts her sword in front of Su Changxing's neck. And Su Changxing gets nervous and he thinks, as I am now, I don't have even a trace of spiritual power, but if I call the guards to protect me, I'm afraid things will unfold just as I saw earlier. Instead of following the plotline and eventually being claimed as an offering, why not take a gamble? And Xiao Siyu gets a smile on her face and she says, "Why aren't you avoiding me? Do you really think I, as I am now, will continue to let you bully me?" But Su Changxing is very scared inside and he thinks in panic, "Please, big sister. As a useless person, I can't even hide if I want to." And Xiao Siyu takes the sword closer to Su Changxing's neck and says to him, "Or do you think I won't dare to kill you?" But then tears start falling from Xiao Siyu's eyes and she tells Su Changxing while crying, "No one in this world loves me anymore. I have lost everything. Why would I be afraid of you?" And Su Changxing gets a slight cut on his neck from Xiao Siyu's sword. And Su Changxing thinks out what she cares about. Is it really this? Then Su Changxing moves his hand towards the sword and says in a cold voice, "Xiao Siyu, I will not dodge your sword, no matter what, because everything I, Su Changxing, have done up until now, has all been for you, the one I love the most." And as soon as Xiao Siyu hears this from Su Changxing, she gets a very big shock and she is not able to move. She is looking at Su Changxing with wide eyes. Then Xiao Siyu said, What did you say?" At the same time she remembers old things and she thinks, although Su Changxing has done many bad things, he always admits to it. Even if he is resented by others, he never restrains himself. He doesn't seem like someone who would lie to save his life. What does he mean by this? And then a guard comes outside Su Changxing's room and starts knocking on the door, and he says, "Your Highness the Crown Prince." And listening to the voice of that guard, Xiao Siyu says to Su Changxing, "Are you delaying for time?" And she thinks, even if I am not a match for the guards, I will drag Su Changxing to death with me. And Su Changxing gets scared and he asks Xiao Siyu to stop. But then the guard opens the door and tries to come inside. But then he stops and when he looks in front of him, he is surprised, and with wide eyes he sees that Su Changxing has hugged Xiao Siyu. And Su Changxing says to the guard in a serious voice, "This young master is on a date with his fiancée. How dare a servant like you come to disturb?" And when Xiao Siyu hears that Su Changxing has called her his fiancée, she is even more surprised. Then the guard bows in front of Su Changxing and says to him, "I'm sorry for the disturbance, Your Highness." And the guard turns back and starts walking away with his straight feet, but he thinks, It just had to be the tyrant crown prince playing around. He has become useless but still has the audacity to flirt with girls. And Su Changxing thinks nervously, leaving so decisively? Shouldn't you protect me secretly outside the door? But fortunately, Xiao Siyu's reaction is just as I expected. Then Xiao Siyu asks Su Changxing, "Did you just say that everything you did was for the one you love the most, me?" To this Su Changxing replies, "Of course." And Xiao Siyu asks further, "You asked them to abandon me in front of my clansmen. Was that for my own good?" To this Su Changxing looks into Xiao Siyu's eyes and says, "Exactly." And Xiao Siyu asks further, "That day, my father begged you to discuss it privately. But you didn't care and said I was greedy. Was that also for my own good?" And on hearing this question, Su Changxing says, "Yes." And Xiao Siyu asks, "In the past, when I was bathing, you said you wanted to help me with a massage and changing clothes. Was that also for my own good?" To this Su Changxing, hesitating a bit, says, Was there something like that too?" But Xiao Siyu again puts the sword on Su Changxing's neck and says to him, "You liar! You said you had a date with your fiancée? I am no longer your fiancée. If you truly loved me, how could you be so heartless?" So Su Changxing asks him, "The night I broke off the engagement, your cultivation went from mortal to chi refining stage 3, right?" And when Xiao Siyu hears this, she gets surprised and she says, How did you know?" And Su Changxing, looking at the sword, says, "Of course I knew. That was exactly why I broke off the engagement. Think back carefully. Since then, hasn't someone been calling your name in dreams every night?" But Xiao Siyu does not believe Su Changxing's words and she says, "Were you spying on me? No, wait, are you the one causing those dreams?" And Su Changxing looks at Xiao Siyu's ring and he thinks, "I naturally couldn't explain my golden hand technique to her. Now is the time to pretend to be profound. If nothing unexpected happens, the Empress in the ring will have already noticed me." And Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, "There is a saying that goes, going to extremes is the same as not going far enough. Do you understand?" And he holds Xiao Siyu's hand, then the sword falls from Xiao Siyu's hand, and she says in a trembling voice, "I don't understand. How can I understand? Since I became useless, no one has loved me for 3 years. Your breaking off the engagement has pushed me to the brink. Now, I no longer want to live in this malicious world." And then Su Changxing takes Xiao Siyu in his arms and tells her, "Don't be sad, you still have me. My beloved Yuer, everything is in the past. We will be together in the future." And Su Changxing is trying to handle the situation, and he is thinking, to avoid becoming a sickly offering, I can only say this. Xiao Siyu has tears in her eyes and she asks Su Changxing, "Is it really true? You didn't deceive me?" So Su Changxing assures her and tells her, "Of course not. How could I bear to deceive you?" Then Su Changxing tells Xiao Siyu, "Go back and keep everyone busy. She will come out to see you. After all, she no longer has any reason to hide. After you go back, you will understand everything." Then we see Xiao Siyu's ring, which is singing. Inside this ring is her master, who is silent now. And Xiao Siyu believes Su Changxing and she says, "Okay, I believe you." And Xiao Siyu holds the sword again, but she again puts the sword on Su Changxing's neck and warns him and she says, "But if you deceive me, even if you hide back in the Taishang sword sect and are protected by that old woman, I will find a way to kill you." And Xiao Siyu leaves from here and Su Changxing is watching her go. And as soon as Xiao Siyu leaves from here, Su Changxing sits on the floor and takes a sigh of relief, and he thinks, that terrifying Yandere girl is finally gone. Thank goodness my acting skills are good, otherwise, I would really be in trouble." But then the guard comes in front of Su Changxing and says to him, "Crown Prince, are you alright?" So Su Changxing says, "So you didn't leave? I'm sorry for speaking to you like that earlier. I hope you don't blame me." And as soon as the guard hears this, he gets another shock and thinks, "Damn, has the Crown Prince gone crazy? He actually apologized to a servant?" And as soon as Su Changxing sees the guard's face, he asks the guard, "What's wrong?" But the guard controls himself and says, "Nothing. I'll go down first." But he thinks, what's wrong with the Crown Prince today? It's like he's become a different person. After some time, Zhao residence. Xiao Siyu is walking down the street. But as soon as some people see Xiao Siyu, they start laughing at Xiao Siyu and passing weird comments, and they say, "Impressive, Zhao Zhe has reached the mid-foundation establishment stage." Zhao Xian is also highly regarded in the Pashan sect. It's said that he's preparing to advance to the core formation stage before he turns 30. Quiet, the patriarch is coming. I was talking to this useless person to make her understand the difference. But Xiao Siyu is not paying attention to what they are saying. She is lost in her own thoughts, and she is thinking, 3 years of neglect. I've had enough. Su Changxing, you better not have deceived me. And as soon as Xiao Siyu reaches near her room, a servant greets her and says, "Miss, the bathwater is ready." And Xiao Siyu says to the servant, "All of you, leave." And the servant closes the door. And Xiao Siyu sits at that place and starts cultivation. But still she is thinking about Su Changxing, and she thinks, it's still the same when it comes to cultivation at Qi refining stage 3. Now, I can only trust Su Changxing. And then Xiao Siyu starts looking here and there, and she hears someone's call and she says, "Senior, please reveal yourself." "Senior." And then Xiao Siyu starts crying loudly and she says, "Su Changxing, how dare you deceive me? All that talk about the person you love the most. It's all nonsense. Even if I have to consume the absolute meridian pill, I will take you down with me." And then Xiao Siyu Senior says, "It seems that what he said is not wrong. Going to extremes is the same as not going far enough." But Xiao Siyu's attention is on the pill and she does not understand what it is. And her senior comes out, who is in spirit form. And she says to Xiao Siyu, "I have transcended using the supreme technique and resided within this ring, waiting for the awakened descendant of the Emperor's bloodline. I intended to hone you a little longer, but he saw through me and hinted that, was doing too much. It was my mistake, indeed. It is time for us to meet." And Xiao Siyu is surprised and she says, "Supreme technique? Hone? So it was you who dispersed the spiritual energy from my cultivation." And the senior says, "All of this was for you." And Xiao Siyu says, "Wait, what did you just say? He saw through you." So the senior says, "Naturally, Tam is talking about the young master from the prince's mansion. I didn't expect him to have already seen through my existence. The so-called breaking off the engagement was also a cooperation with me." And Xiao Siyu, being surprised, asks the senior, "Could it be that his descent into madness was an act?" So the senior says, "He probably did it to lure you in, and privately revealed the situation when you were alone with him. He can sense my existence, and has calculated everything. This person's true strength is undoubtedly terrifying." And as soon as Xiao Siyu listens to what the senior says, her eyes widen and she says, "Su Changxing didn't actually deceive me. He truly loves me." And the senior says, "I am Bai Zhe, honored by the White Emperor, and I bestow upon you the position of Prime Minister. With this, I assist the awakened bloodline descendant." And she puts her hand on Xiao Siyu's forehead and she says, "Ldrago. Cultivation methods inferior spiritual energy cannot integrate into your meridians. The White Emperor's eternal life method is your true path. The bloodline awakens, Yuaning gathers." On the other side, the Zhao family conference hall. Some people are sitting and discussing something. Then the Grand Elder says, "Elder, you should give up on your daughter." And the second elder says, "Zhao Zhe and Zhao Xian are more worthy of cultivation. We can't give resources to a useless person anymore." Then we see a man, head of the Zhao family, Zhao Hui. And he says, "For now, the matter concerning my daughter isn't the elder's concern." And the Grand Elder laughs and says, "He, the head of the family doesn't know yet. Tonight she secretly went to the prince's mansion. If this matter gets out, the Zhao family will become a laughingstock in the imperial city." And the second elder says, "Could it be that she saw Su Changxing as useless and thinks she's worthy of him now? Ha ha." And then somewhere a dangerous spiritual energy starts going towards the sky and some people get shocked seeing it. People are unable to understand what just happened. And one man says, "It's an anomaly. Someone in the mansion has reached the core formation stage." This spiritual energy is coming out of Xiao Siyu's room, and the elders also start seeing it. And one elder says, "Is it in Xiao Siyu's room?" And Zhao Hui says, "She reached core formation? How is that possible?" And the elder says, "It's really Siyu. She's only 18. An 18-year-old Yuaning. How many are there in all of the Wei? No, in all of the human race." And Xiao Hui becomes happy knowing this and thinks, the white phoenix of the Xiao family has finally returned. And the elders congratulate Xiao Hui and say, "Congratulations to the miss on advancing to Yuaning. Our Zhao family has truly risen this time." Then we see Xiao Siyu, who comes out of her room after making her breakthrough, but she is serious. But as soon as she goes out, many people congratulate her and say, "Congratulations to Miss Siyu on advancing to Yuaning." Now, Miss Siyu can slap Su Changxing in the face. Now, he is the useless one and doesn't deserve Miss Siyu. But Xiao Siyu says to them in a cold voice, "Don't speak ill of him. If I hadn't seen Su Changxing today, I wouldn't have known how long I had to endure humiliation and bear this heavy burden. From today onwards, the only husband and beloved of Xiao Siyu is Su Changxing." And they hear this, they get shocked and ask why. Then Xiao Siyu gets a smile on her face and she puts her hand near her heart and says in a loving voice, "Because he loves me, and I love him too." Next day, Su Mansion. Some people are in front of Su Changxing when Su Changxing is having his food. But Su Changxing is a bit shocked, and he thinks, "I just wanted to have a meal. What are they doing?" Then we see Su Changxing's father, the Su County Prince. And he says to Stuart, "How should we comfort Changxing?" So Stuart says in a low voice, "Should we just tell him directly?" But Su Changxing's father says, "Absolutely not. Changxing will flip the table." And the other servants say, "His cultivation was crippled. Will Changxing kill someone? Given his temperament, he might even burn down the entirety of the county prince's mansion." "I think so too." And Su Changxing, while drinking tea, thinks, "This meal can't continue." Then he says to his father, "Thank you, I'm done eating. I have nothing else to do, so I'll go back to my bedroom and rest." And as soon as they hear the word "thank you" from Su Changxing's mouth, they are very shocked. And they cannot understand what Su Changxing just said, and his father is even more shocked. And they say, "Wow! Changxing just said thank you. An anomaly. This is definitely an anomaly. Why would he say something like that? Strange, really strange." And Su Changxing's father tells him, "Son, even though you just experienced demonic cultivation and your state of mind has changed, you don't need to endure like this." And Stuart says, "Yes. Even if your cultivation is crippled, you're still the son of the county prince." And his father says, "If anyone dares to bother you, we can just directly kill and eradicate them." And Su Changxing listens to them carefully and understands what the matter is. And he thinks, no wonder the original host had such a personality. These relatives of his are not worth much, to say such villainous words in front of so many people. "It seems like my flag is not enough, huh?" Then Su Changxing says in a serious voice, "No, don't stoop to their level. Respected elders, please don't dote on me like this anymore." And on hearing Su Changxing's words, the walnuts fall from his father's hands, and he thinks, "Don't stoop to their level. Can my son really say such words?" And then a maid brings tea for Su Changxing, but her foot accidentally slips, due to which the teacup falls from her hands on Su Changxing's clothes. But Su Changxing catches the maid from falling, but the teacup breaks. But Su Changxing asks the maid if she is okay? And as soon as everyone hears this, it becomes an even bigger shock for them, and they say, "Wait, did my eyes deceive me? Changxing helped someone. He should have just avoided it and then humiliated the girl a bit. Didn't he always believe that servants were lowly creatures?" And the maid apologizes to Su Changxing for her mistake, and Su Changxing normally replies to her, "It's fine, it's just my clothes that got dirty. Just change my clothes, as long as you're okay." And after listening to all these things of Su Changxing, the maid thinks, "I've always heard of the Crown Prince's infamous reputation, but I've never seen him in person. I never expected that the Crown Prince would be so gentle and humble to others, and so handsome." Then the maid blushingly goes away from here. And Su Changxing's father comes in front of him and asks him, "Son, why would you do such a thing today?" Then Su Changxing says, "Isn't this a normal reaction? Why are you elders so surprised? I'll go back and change my clothes first." And his father thinks these behaviors are normal for others, but completely abnormal for you. At night, Su Changxing is sitting in his room reading a book. But then Xiao Siyu comes there and she says, "Senior, it's me." And Su Changxing asks Xiao Siyu to come inside. And Xiao Siyu says to Su Changxing, "Senior, I am fortunate to not have broken your trust." And Su Changxing starts looking at Xiao Siyu and starts making tea, and he says, "Your appearance and temperament are completely different from before. The White Emperor's method is truly extraordinary." And Su Changxing thinks, calling me senior now? It seems like she and that girl have done things quite accurately to what I saw. And Xiao Siyu is looking at Su Changxing with sharp eyes, and she thinks, he really knows about the White Emperor's existence. Su Changxing has such strength, yet he personally made tea for me. It seems that he is truly devoted to me. And Su Changxing looks at Xiao Siyu and he thinks, what kind of realm has this girl reached? If I directly ask, it will definitely raise suspicion. True. Then Su Changxing asks Xiao Siyu, have you now reached the realm that I expected of you? At the same time he thinks, I was born with a sword body, cultivated qi at 6, built a foundation at 8, and formed Dan at 14, breaking the records of the Great Wei dynasty. I wonder if Xiao Siyu can break my record. Then Xiao Siyu says, as a junior, I am ignorant. Even though I have received such guidance from senior, I have only barely reached the early stage of yuaning. I have disappointed you, senior. And as soon as Su Changxing hears this, he gets shocked and thinks, yuaning? Overnight yuaning. And Su Changxing, controlling his emotions, says to Xiao Siyu, you've done well, although there is still some gap from my expectations. And Su Changxing thinks, the true daughter of destiny is actually so terrifying. I absolutely cannot show any fear. And Xiao Siyu sits on the chair and shows her sexy legs to Su Changxing and says to him, I am also aware that I may have disappointed you. So, in order to better guide me and to prevent you, Changxing, from interacting with other women. And then Xiao Siyu stands up and touches Su Changxing's cheek and says to him, Changxing, let's remarry? And Xiao Siyu thinks, this potential stock I absolutely cannot give up. And Su Changxing is a bit surprised on hearing Xiao Siyu's words. But he controls himself and thinks, this is a big thing to achieve in one step. I must hold on to it. Huh? What's going on? The cheat code has been activated. Is this the future? After agreeing. Then Su Changxing starts imaging. Husband, you're amazing. Wife, let's take a break. No, let's continue, otherwise you might go find other women. I've never had such thoughts. I want to make sure that even if you have thoughts, you can act on them. Several years later, Su Lang, it's time to take your medicine. And Su Changxing gets very nervous after imagining all these things, and he thinks, if I agree, will it lead to this result? This woman is really terrifying. And Xiao Siyu asks Su Changxing again, Changxing, do you agree? And Su Changxing says in nervousness, remarrying may be good, but after careful consideration, I feel that it's not. And Su Changxing thinks, here it comes again. Is this the future? After I refuse. And he starts imagining again, and he finds himself tied with chains inside the jail. And Xiao Siyu comes in front of him and she says, the sermon for today has ended. The night belongs to us now. Changxing, since you're not sure about being my public husband, then stay with me underground for the rest of our lives. Several years later, Su Lang, it's time to take your medicine. Now after imagining all these things, Su Changxing gets very scared and he thinks, the result of this refusal seems even more miserable. Then Xiao Siyu asks Su Changxing again, Changxing, you just said you gave it some thought. What do you think now? And Su Changxing thinks, both advancing and retreating are dead ends. What should I do? And now Xiao Siyu gets serious when she hears Su Changxing's answer and she says, Changxing, I'm waiting for your answer. Then Su Changxing says, do you want to know my answer? And Xiao Siyu gets excited to hear Su Changxing's answer. But Su Changxing goes ahead, which surprises Xiao Siyu. Then Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, I'm really disappointed in you. But Su Changxing thinks, since it's not ideal whether I advance or retreat, then I'll just deceive. And Xiao Siyu says to Su Changxing, Changxing, Why are you doing this? So Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, I've been giving hints to be together with you, but unfortunately, you still don't understand. But Xiao Siyu doesn't understand what Su Changxing has told her. And she grabs Su Changxing's collar and says to him, Changxing, I don't understand. What do you mean by what you said? Don't you love me anymore? So Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, if you can't ascend to the throne, how can I love you? And Su Changxing thinks, first, make her false promises. And Su Changxing further says to Xiao Siyu, you know, I won't age and won't die. But you're different. You should know that even as an immortal, you can't escape the fate of destruction. And Su Changxing is thinking inside, blow your own trumpet again, so that she can't reach your height. And as soon as Xiao Siyu hears about immortality, she gets stunned. And then her senior tells her, he's right. Immortality actually can't withstand the passage of time. Siyu, when you awakened, did you feel there was a bottleneck hindering you? If he really is immortal, perhaps he can help you break through the bottleneck. And after listening to her senior, Xiao Siyu agrees. Then she smilingly says to Su Changxing, Changxing, I obtained the inheritance of the White Emperor, but I feel that I can't fully integrate it. Do you know why? And Su Changxing thinks, such a profound question that even the immortal within you doesn't know. How could I know? Well, there's no choice, so I'll keep deceiving. Then Su Changxing turns back like an old man and looking upward says, cultivation is a vast and profound journey. Receiving the inheritance is just the first small step of a 1,000-mile journey. And Xiao Siyu is surprised and confused by Su Changxing's words and she says, just the first small step? And Su Changxing says, yes, not even being a great emperor is the end. And listening to Su Changxing's words, Xiao Siyu gets into deep thought and she says, the path of immortality is so difficult. What if I fail to become a great emperor? If I perish halfway on this long road, what will you do? Then Su Changxing turns his head back and shouts at Xiao Siyu, don't say such ominous words. With me protecting you, that possibility doesn't exist. And Su Changxing is thinking inside, I have so many enemies, and I'm still waiting for you to help me fend off their attacks. And Xiao Siyu says, really? So Su Changxing says, if you were to perish, I'm afraid I wouldn't live long either. And Su Changxing thinks, that statement is the absolute truth. And then Xiao Siyu gets surprised and she thinks, what does he mean by that? Isn't he immortal? That means he would sacrifice for love. I understand now. But I don't know what Xiao Siyu understands, but a lot of spiritual energy starts coming out from within him, which breaks the roof and starts going towards the sky. Su Changxing's father sees this from a distance, and they say, what's going on? Why is there such a huge disturbance? It's terrifying. It must be the aura of a nascent soul stage cultivator. Nascent soul? Could it be that Xiao Siyu has made another breakthrough? This is bad. On the other side, Xiao residence. We see Xiao Hui and the elder, and they have also seen this power. And the second elder says, it's Mrs. Aura. She only went away for one night and broke through to the mid-nascent soul stage? So what methods does Su Changxing have? And the grand elder says, could it be the miraculous effect brought by dual cultivation? And we come back to Su Changxing's room, and Su Changxing is a little confused, but he thinks, the chosen one is truly different. My host had been cultivating for 20 years and hadn't even touched the threshold of the nascent soul stage. But in the blink of an eye, she has reached the mid-nascent soul stage. Sigh. And then Xiao Siyu takes Su Changxing in her arms and very happily says, Changxing, I understand your guidance. Thank you? But Su Changxing gets confused and thinks, you understood just like that? I don't even understand what I was guiding you on. And Xiao Siyu says to Su Changxing, Changxing, for you, I will become a great emperor. In the end, together with you, I will ascend to the pinnacle of immortality. And Su Changxing thinks, those eerie futures did not manifest. It seems I've passed the test. And then she quickly leaves from here and Su Changxing is watching her go. But when Xiao Siyu was leaving from here, the senior asked Xiao Siyu, Siyu, what did you just realize? So Xiao Siyu says, love. Changxing, who is immortal and never ages or dies, is willing to sacrifice himself for me. He let me understand that love is more important than inheritance, and then I broke through. And Xiao Siyu's love for Su Changxing increases even more, and she thinks smilingly, Changxing, I won't let you down. After Xiao Siyu leaves, Su Changxing now sits comfortably in his chair, and he thinks Xiao Siyu has finally passed this trial. There shouldn't be any danger to her life in the short term. But this is just a temporary solution. I have to find a way to restore my combat power. But then Su Changxing starts feeling spiritual energy in his hands, seeing which he gets confused, and he thinks, huh? What's this? Spirit. Spiritual energy. How do I suddenly have spiritual energy? I can cultivate again. And Su Changxing becomes very happy, but then he notices something and he thinks, is this another plot twist? But I didn't do anything. White Emperor's immortal technique. White Emperor's immortal technique. It can restore the sword body. This is the White Emperor's immortal technique. Why did the reward suddenly appear? It wasn't there yesterday. The only difference from yesterday is... I understand, it's Xiao Siyu. She has made a breakthrough in her cultivation, and now Su Changxing understands that as Xiao Siyu's cultivation level increases and she makes breakthroughs, Su Changxing's cultivation will also increase. The next day, we see Zhao Hui. And in front of him is Zhao Zhe, who has been slapped by someone. And Zhao Hui asks, Zhao Zhe, did you ask? Did Siyu make a breakthrough because of dual cultivation with Su Changxing? So Zhao Zhe says, I asked, but my cousin slapped me and then went into seclusion. Then the elders start talking among themselves and they say, she's obviously feeling guilty. It seems Zhao Zhe hit the nail on the head. Yes, many people are saying that Miss broke through because of dual cultivation with Su Changxing. This is not good for Miss's reputation. No wonder Miss said those words before. I'm afraid her promotion is inseparable from Su Changxing. So, are we going to keep Miss and that useless person bound together forever? Yes. And Zhao Hui says, no, I suspect that Su Changxing was never useless. He's just been manipulating the situation. And the Grand Elder says, with his personality, does he know how to hide his abilities? There's definitely something fishy going on. If there's something suspicious, we'll act accordingly. And Zhao Hui says, we have no choice. We can't delay this any longer. You should leave immediately. And the Grand Elder says, how about this, Zhao Zhe? Represent our Zhao clan and go consult with Su Changxing. And Zhao Zhe thinks, all right. If Su Changxing is useless, I will make him submit to the power of our Zhao clan. After a while we see Su family's patriarch. And patriarch shouts, who allowed Su Changxing to break off the engagement. Now that Miss Zhao has reached the mid-nascent soul stage, what should we do? And Su Changxing's father panics and says, it's all my fault for indulging Changxing too much. And Stuart says, shouldn't we hand Changxing over? And as soon as Su Changxing's father hears Stuart's words, he gets angry and says, hand over Changxing? That's impossible. And then a guard comes and says to Patriarch, reporting, Sir, I have something important to report. And Patriarch gives permission to the guard to speak, so the guard starts telling, there's a rumor going around the city that even though our young master's sword body was disabled, he can still be nourished by female cultivators and become their nourishment as well. It was because of this that Xiao Siyu had two realizations and became a mid-nascent soul cultivator. And as soon as Su Changxing's father hears this he says, is that really true? Is there any evidence for these rumors? And the guard says, Miss Zhao didn't avoid anyone when she came to our mansion twice. Yesterday, I and the other servants actually saw the young master holding Xiao Siyu in his arms from a distance, but I didn't think much of it at the time. And as soon as Su Changxing's father hears this he gets surprised and he says, something happened last night. And Patriarch says, don't you think it's possible that Changxing is actually not disabled? And as soon as Su Changxing's father hears the Patriarch's words he gets a big shock and says, how is that possible? If he's fine, how could he endure such humiliation? He was eager for the whole Great Wei Empire to know about his breakthrough. And Stuart says, no, it's possible. Didn't you notice how unusual he was yesterday? And the man behind him says, yes, he was completely different from before. And Su Changxing's father, after thinking something, says the news of Changxing's disabled sword body was personally delivered by the Supreme Sword Sect Master, Xiao Siyu. There must be some misunderstanding. There is indeed no trace of spiritual energy in Changxing's body. And the patriarch is also listening to him carefully. And then another guard comes and he says, Master, something's wrong. Please go and SEF. The Zhao family has come to cause trouble. They said they want to spar with young Master Changxing. And as soon as they hear this news they get shocked. Then we look at Su Changxing's room and a lot of spiritual energy is released from his room into him. And Su Changxing is observing all those spiritual energies inside him. Then he thinks, this White Emperor's immortal technique is really good, but unfortunately, it only gave me an introductory volume. It seems that Xiao Siyu will have to be promoted again for further rewards. My current cultivation level has reached the 3rd level of foundation building, but the density of spiritual energy is far beyond that. In any case, I am finally no longer a waste. And then a crane brings a letter, but there is a ring in that letter, seeing which Su Changxing thinks, it's the immortal crane from my master. So she has been thinking about me all this time? I haven't seen my master for a long time, and there is hardly any information about her in my memory. I guess my master must be extremely disappointed in me, a useless person. And as soon as Su Changxing opens the letter, a master comes out from inside it, the Supreme Sword Sect Master, Xiao Siyu. And seeing him, Su Changxing thinks, this is a letter from my master. Why would she spend such effort on me? And the master says, Changxing, you must be very disappointed in me, your master. When you went astray, I wasn't by your side, which led to the loss of your cultivation path. And Su Changxing thinks, you didn't appreciate having such a good disciple before. And his master further says, I feel deeply remorseful as your master, but the grave mistake has already been made, so I can only entrust these things to you. Here is an excellent Peiyuan pill, 3 superiors swallowing spirit pills, and the immortal sword that you've always wanted but couldn't draw out. And Su Changxing is a bit surprised and he says, thank you, master. And he thinks, you're a good master, indeed. And his master gives him the divine sword and gives him some pills, seeing which Su Changxing is a bit surprised. And his master says, although these items can't rectify the harm caused by going astray, they can help you maintain good health. Please live humbly and avoid showing off like before. And Su Changxing says, I, Su Changxing, will never disappoint my master's expectations. And her master says, I know you used to secretly watch me change clothes in the bedroom at night, so please stop doing that in the future, or you might end up dead. And as soon as Su Changxing hears this, his face falls and he says, oops. This guy really was. And Su Changxing looks at the sword and he thinks, unfortunate previous owner, why did you bother with peeping if your goal was swordsmanship? Master is so generous, not only giving me valuable elixirs but also giving me this sword. It seems that the sword was obtained by a master from an ancient tomb in the south, and no one has been able to claim it. After seeing Xiao Siyu's future, I learned that this sword has a self-protection mechanism, and only Xiao Siyu can fully unlock it. Why is the yard so noisy? Did something happen? Then we see outside where the Grand Elder has brought some people with him. And he says to Su Changxing's father, I brought the young talents of the Zhao clan's younger generation to have a friendly match with Changxing. Why is the Duke of Su resisting so much? And Su Changxing's father says, Humph. Is the young master of the Su family all you want to challenge? He also thinks, although I don't know how that Zhao girl made a breakthrough, if the Zhao family finds out that Changxing is a cripple, he won't have time to be repaired by female cultivators at all. The Zhao family will definitely turn hostile, and it will be over then. Then the Grand Elder says, since Changxing refuses to come out, we have no choice but to use force. And then Su Changxing appears in front of them and asks, who wants to challenge me? And Zhao Zhe looks at Su Changxing and tells Grand Elder that it is him. And Su Changxing gets serious and he thinks, the Zhao family wants to challenge me at this time. They must want to test if I still have any cultivation. It seems these people doubt whether I'm worthy of Xiao Siyu. Then Zhao Zhe comes forward and he stands in front of Su Changxing and arrogantly says to Su Changxing, are you willing to have a match? And Su Changxing looks into his eyes and says to him, I don't think it's necessary. And Su Changxing's father thinks, well, as expected, Changxing is a waste. And the Grand Elder smilingly thinks, rumors can't be trusted. This kid is indeed useless. And Xiao Siyu starts moving ahead laughing, but he says, a waste is just a waste. And Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, what I mean is, otherwise brother Xiao Zhetong may die. And as soon as they listen to Su Changxing's words they get shocked. Then Xiao Siyu points his finger at Su Changxing and says, since the young master Su 1550 is confident, are you willing to accompany me to the martial arena? And Su Changxing accepts Xiao Siyu's challenge and says, sure, if you want to lose, I will naturally fulfill your wish. And as soon as Su Changxing's father hears Su Changxing's words, he gets nervous, and he says to a servant, quick, go and invite Elder Yang. After some time, both the cultivators are standing face to face in the arena, and everyone is watching all this. And then the elder comes there, and Su Changxing's father says to him, Changxing is inherently stubborn. I'm afraid he'll die on the field just for the sake of face. We'll trouble Elder Yang later. And the elder says, don't worry. And Xiao Siyu is very confident and he says, Su Changxing, do you remember what you did to me before? The first time we met, you humiliated me, called me a waste, and even knocked out one of my teeth. But Su Changxing says, I don't remember. And Su Changxing thinks, this guy used to bully the weak whenever he saw them, beating people countless times. Who can remember that? And now Xiao Siyu gets ready to fight, and he holds the sword in his hand and he says, you bastard. Even though you've lost your cultivation, you're still so arrogant. I want to see what qualifications you have. This is a medium-grade spirit sword. And as soon as they see Xiao Siyu's sword they become very surprised, and they say, the Zhao family actually have such a spirit sword? They probably emptied their coffers. You can't tell just by its appearance, but it definitely won't exceed medium grade. What's the quality of Changxing's sword? And Xiao Siyu says to Su Changxing, Junior brother Su, draw your sword. And Su Changxing warns Xiao Siyu and says to him, Xiao Zhetong, I think it's better if you don't draw that sword. If you draw it, you will die. But Xiao Siyu is confident that he will defeat Su Changxing very easily. And so he says, Su Changxing, stop with your exaggerated words and just accept defeat. And Xiao Siyu moves to attack first and he says, he cultivated the blood-sinking sword technique to a small realm in the middle stage of foundation establishment. Xiao Zhetong is really strong. Yes, that sword is extremely compatible with the blood-sinking sword technique, its power is probably doubled. Su Changxing is finished. And Su Changxing sees Xiao Siyu's attack and he is a little nervous and he thinks, I'm only at the triple foundation establishment stage, and the gap between us is too big. If I lose or win by a narrow margin, Xiao Siyu will definitely have suspicions. But fortunately, I have Changxing's sword in my hand. Although only Xiao Siyu can draw the sword, according to the scenes I saw in my dream of the future, I can still activate the restriction. Then Su Changxing holds his sword tightly, due to which power starts coming out of his sword. And he easily stops Xiao Siyu's attack, and Su Changxing says, at the end of the Tao, only I, Changxing, will remain. And with the help of the sword, Su Changxing defeats Su Hua in just one move and destroys his sword too. And Xiao Siyu flies in the air and falls directly outside the arena. And everyone is shocked to see this. And the Grand Elder thinks, before his sword was drawn, with a casual strike, Zhetong was sent flying. How domineering and disdainful that strike was. And Su Changxing's father is also shocked and he thinks, indeed, Su Changxing is far from being useless. And Xiao Siyu says it's fake, those rumors are all fake. And Su Changxing's father thinks, Changxing actually concealed his true abilities. He actually concealed them, Then Su Changxing challenges everyone and raises his sword and he says, is there anyone else who wants to spar? But the Grand Elder refuses. And then Xiao Siyu starts coming from the front, and Grand Elder gets surprised to see Xiao Siyu. And Xiao Siyu says to Grand Elder, Xiao Zhetong, what are you doing? And Great Elder gets a little nervous but he replies and he says, miss. We came to spar with Changxing. And Xiao Siyu also says, yes, and with just one move, I was defeated. But Xiao Siyu threatens Grand Elder and she says, daring to offend Su Changxing, I'll kill all of you. Then Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, Siyu, calm down. It can't be considered an offense, as it was just an ordinary sparring session. And Su Changxing gives his sword to Xiao Siyu and he says, also, this sword is a gift for you. Then a man says, oh my god, that sword. The scabbard withstood a strike from a medium-grade spirit sword. It's at least a top-grade sword, and it was given away just like that. And Su Changxing's father thinks, this kid is really willing to spend money to pursue girls. And Xiao Siyu holds the sword in her hands and she thinks, how is this sword so perfectly suited to me? It feels like it's a part of me. And then the senior tells her, this is the White Emperor Sword Embryo. A divine-grade spiritual weapon. It's naturally very compatible with you. I don't know where he found it, but he probably went to some ancient immortal ruins. He must have gone through great hardships. He really put in a lot of effort. And Xiao Siyu looking at the sword thinks, a divine-grade weapon. Such a treasure, yet he didn't keep it for himself and gave it to me. And Xiao Siyu asks Su Changxing to confirm, this sword is for me. Su Changxing says, although it took a little effort, everything was worth it. And Su Changxing thinks, this tsundere girl, always wanting to kill people at the slightest provocation. It's better to make her owe me a favor. Then Su Changxing looks at Grand Elder and Zhaozhe, and they are very confused and cannot understand anything. Then Su Changxing laughingly tells them, Zhao Bo and the others, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. Why don't you come in and have a cup of tea? And on listening to Su Changxing they think, has this Su Changxing been possessed by a ghost? He's so polite? Shouldn't he be going to tear down the Zhao family? Strange, really strange. When something abnormal happens, there must be a demon. I better run for my life. But the Grand Elder refuses and says, no, we still have to go back and treat Zhao Zhetung's injuries. I'll leave first. Then Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, Siyu, you should come too. And Xiao Siyu agrees at once and she holds Su Changxing's hand. But Su Changxing gets a little confused. But Xiao Siyu says to him, don't mind them, let's focus on our task. I still want to improve further. And Su Changxing thinks it's over. This girl has turned into a yandere again. And when the Grand Elder and his companions see all this, they are shocked and say, oh my god. The rumors were actually true. Dual cultivation physique. Yes, otherwise Siyu wouldn't have wanted to. In broad daylight, let's go, let's not disturb them. And Su Changxing's father says, let's go too. Changxing has hidden his cultivation really well. And the elder says, yes, it's like he has completely transformed. And Su Changxing's father says, I feel the same way. And the elder says, just now he actually invited the Xiao family members to have tea. It's unimaginable. Then we see the scene of Su Changxing's room where Xiao Siyu has made Su Changxing sit on a chair. But Su Changxing is a little nervous, and Xiao Siyu says to him, Changxing, you risked your life to find a sword for me. You've been so good to me. I don't have anything to repay you with, so I'll devote myself to you. And Su Changxing says in nervousness, I don't think I need it. And Xiao Siyu gets a little serious and she says, Changxing, are you disgusted with me? But Su Changxing thinks, this girl is really fickle, could it be that she's a late-stage, love-sick patient? Since that's the case. And then Su Changxing holds Xiao Siyu and makes her lie down on the bed and holds both her hands. But Xiao Siyu relaxes and closes her eyes. It seems as if Xiao Siyu has completely surrendered herself to Su Changxing. And Xiao Siyu happily says to Su Changxing, Changxing, do you know? I miss you so much. Then we see Elder who is passing by Su Changxing's room. Then he hears Xiao Siyu's voice from Su Changxing's room and Xiao Siyu says, even though we were together last night, for some reason, I still want to come see you. And as soon as Elder hears Xiao Siyu's words, he gets shocked and he thinks, the rumors are true. The young master indeed has the ability to assist others in dual cultivation. We must quickly inform the master about this. The crisis in the mansion is finally resolved. That's great. Then we see the scene of Su Changxing's room. But then Xiao Siyu Sr. says to her, Siyu, stop. You must not continue. If you were to lose your virginity before reaching the core formation stage, all the inheritance will be in vain. And Xiao Siyu says to her senior, is there something like this? So her senior says, yes, the path to immortality is long. Yoling Master Changxing truly likes you. Why rush things? Also, have you forgotten our original purpose in coming here? And after listening to the senior's words, Xiao Siyu says, all right. Then Xiao Siyu said to Su Changxing, Changxing, I suddenly thought of a cultivation question to ask you. And Su Changxing gets a little confused and he thinks, does this mean change her attitude faster than flipping through a book? Forget it, this is fine too. Actually getting involved with her could lead to a quicker death once the truth is revealed. But I really have no idea about the cultivation issue at the nascent soul stage. And Su Changxing says, such a beautiful moment, discussing cultivation issues, perhaps. And Xiao Siyu says, Changxing, I feel like something is missing in my body. Changxing, you know what I need, right? And Xiao Siyu and Senior are eagerly waiting for Su Changxing's answer, and they both think he should know. And Su Changxing smiles and thinks, it seems Xiao Siyu and that woman Baija in her ring still doesn't trust me. Fortunately, I've seen Xiao Siyu's future, and I know what that is. Then Su Changxing holds Xiao Siyu's hand and tells her, the awakening of the White Emperor bloodline comes at the cost of damage to the mortal body. So, you need something that can restore your physique. After taking it you should be fine. And as soon as Xiao Siyu hears this she gets shocked and her eyes widen. And her senior tells her, Siyu, no need to test him, he is indeed a transcendent being who was reincarnated. And Xiao Siyu says, okay, Changxing, I understand. I'll go search for this item. It might take a while. And Su Changxing says, a while? No need, I already know where it is. And now both are surprised that Su Changxing knows where to get that thing. And Su Changxing says, consistently, it's almost time for the top 10 holy lands to recruit disciples. And Xiao Siyu says, that thing is in a holy land. Which one? But Su Changxing gets serious and tells, Supreme Sword Sect. And as soon as Xiao Siyu hears this she gets shocked and says in an angry voice, the one that expelled Changxing. But Su Changxing says it's not their fault. And Xiao Siyu goes closer to Su Changxing and she says, Changxing, come with me to participate in the Holy Land recruitment event. I want to go to the Supreme Sword Sect and demand justice for you. And Su Changxing calmly replies, justice aside, I indeed want to visit the Supreme Sword Sect. But Su Changxing has some other plans and he thinks, I've offended too many people. The Su mansion won't be able to protect me. It's safer to hide behind a genius like Xiao Siyu. But then Xiao Siyu starts laughing out loud and says, haha, great. Changxing actually wants to roam the world with me, a pair of free spirits. And then Xiao Siyu makes the breakthrough and that too with great ease. And seeing this Su Changxing becomes a little sad and he thinks, what? I didn't say that. Also, is it that easy to break through? Just a few words and breakthroughs. And then we see the scene outside and many people see this breakthrough and they say, my goodness! Young master is too terrifying. The effects of dual cultivation are as easy as drinking water. I also want to dual cultivate with him. You're a man, what dual cultivation? Who said men can't dual cultivate? And Xiao Siyu starts to leave from there but before leaving she says to Su Changxing, Changxing, I'll go prepare. Tomorrow, let's go to the Holy Land recruitment event. And Su Changxing says, okay. And Su Changxing thinks, indeed, her breakthrough benefits me. My mind now holds the complete volume of the White Emperor technique's first layer. Since that's the case, I'll cultivate a bit. At night, we see Xiao Siyu and her senior is helping Xiao Siyu in her cultivation. And Xiao Siyu asks the senior, hey, why can't I condense the flower yet? So the senior says, you haven't even started, don't be impatient. After you start, you'll naturally be able to condense the flower. Until it becomes the White Emperor flower capable of stirring this world, there's no need to rush. And Xiao Siyu says, the White Emperor technique is really difficult. So the senior says, it's natural, the White Emperor technique is the culmination of the White Emperor's lifetime. Ordinary people can't even comprehend it, let alone possess the qualifications to cultivate. You are an outstanding figure in the White Emperor bloodline, able to grasp a few aspects of the White Emperor technique in a day. That's already astonishing talent. And Xiao Siyu asks, is there anyone who can start cultivating the White Emperor technique and condense the flower in a day? So the senior says, absolutely impossible. Would hold the bloodline, even if someone is a genius, it would take at least 100 years to reach the first level. And Xiao Siyu said to the senior, what do you think? If I pass the technique to Changxing, how long would it take for him to reach the first level? So the senior says him? I really can't guess, but even if he's strong, it would probably take at least 100 years to reach the first level. Because without the recognition of the White Emperor's will, anyone would be stuck at the first level. And after listening to the senior, Xiao Siyu becomes a little sad and says, oh, it seems Changxing is probably not destined for the White Emperor technique. Then we see Su Changxing, who has made the impossible possible, as he has completely mastered the first level of the White Emperor technique, and that too in 1 hour. And he has also created the flower, and Su Changxing is looking at the flower and he thinks, in less than an hour, I reached the peak of the first level? This White Emperor technique claims to be an immortal technique. Is it really that effective? The next day, we listen to some people talking and they are saying, I heard that the elders and direct disciples are discussing the matter of the position of the senior disciple today. I never thought Su Changxing would have a hard time too. He didn't even spare us a glance before. Exactly, even though we are handyman disciples, we still have our chance to shine. Unless it's that useless person. Then we see a girl who is cleaning the place and she is handyman disciple Shinruo Yuan. And she says, what do I do? Senior brother Changxing, can you still return to the sect? Then we see the scene of the hall and one elder says, the recruitment event is starting soon. What is the purpose of assembling everyone here? And another elder says, Elder Wang, it would be wise for you to pay more attention to external news. Today's discussion is about something that has been widely spread throughout the entire capital, the matter of Su Changxing recovering his cultivation. And Elder Wang says, recovering cultivation? He has fallen astray, the spiritual veins are depleted, it's impossible. But the second elder says, but it's said that Su Changxing not only defeated a mid-level nascent soul opponent, but also helped a crippled woman cultivate into a nascent soul in 3 days. And some disciples say, the nascent soul, in itself, is a profound and arduous process. Even for someone with talent, it would take at least 100 years. Achieving nascent soul in 3 days, is it a daydream? Ridiculous, extremely ridiculous. And Elder Wang says, even if he does have this ability, why has that handyman disciple, Shinruo Lian, whom he bought, been unable to cultivate all this time? Then we see Su Changxing's master, and she says to all of them, everyone, calm down. Today's gathering is to discuss the matter of the recruitment event. But in her mind she thinks of Su Changxing, Changxing, as your master, I truly hope that those rumors are true. Half an hour later. While leaving, the master says, good, let Su Hua handle the hospitality. Meeting adjourned. Then we see Su Hua, who is the direct disciple. And one disciple says to him, it seems that once Su Changxing is gone, senior brother's position will be taken over by Su Hua. And Su Hua says, Su Changxing, having lost his way and without help, is facing retribution. From now on, I will take on the responsibilities of senior brother Changxing. If I see Su Changxing again, I will settle all past debts. After some time, the Supreme Sword Sect's welcome hall. Su Hua is sitting comfortably enjoying his tea and he says, the feeling of being a senior brother is truly beautiful. And then a disciple comes running to Su Hua, taking Su Hua's name, and says to him, Su, senior brother Su, something bad happened. And Su Hua asks, what could be so bad? Why panic? So the disciple says in panic, Su Changxing, he's back. As soon as Su Hua hears this news, he gets a shock, and he asks, is this true? So in reply to this the disciple says, it seems so, but something's not right. But Su Hua gets very angry and he stands up and hits his hand on the table and says to the disciple in an angry voice, is it true, or are you messing with me? But the disciple says, no, that person, He looks a lot like Su Changxing. But when he bought things, he actually paid. And Su Hua asks, did Su Changxing ever pay for anything in the Supreme Sword sect? So the disciple shakes his head and says no. And as soon as Su Hua hears this, he starts laughing, and he says, hee hee, it looks like he's not so arrogant after becoming a useless person. Even if he has returned, so what? If he dares to show his face, I will make sure he has no place to be buried. Then we see Su Changxing and Xiao Siyu, but Su Changxing has a mask on his face, and he tells Xiao Siyu, Eller, when you're outside, don't casually reveal your identity. Acting high profile can attract too much attention and make enemies for yourself. And Xiao Siyu says, but I feel that with Changxing by my side, I don't need to be as cautious as before. And Su Changxing thinks, you being with me is the most dangerous thing. I already have many enemies. If you cause trouble, there will truly be no place for me. Then Su Changxing turns back and tells Xiao Siyu, the path to becoming strong can't rely entirely on others. Let Baizhi give you a set of spirit techniques that can conceal your aura. Understanding how to hide your strength is crucial for self-protection in competition. And Xiao Siyu says, wow. Changxing, are you concerned about me? And then the senior tells Xiao Siyu, he's absolutely right. Both of us cannot protect you for a lifetime. I'll teach you a few spirit techniques. And Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu in a serious voice, yeah, I don't care about you. Who else would care about you? And Su Changxing thinks, if I guess correctly, the immortal technique Baizhi taught Xiao Siyu, I can also learn simultaneously. After a while, seen at the recruitment conference. Then we see Su Changxing's master, i.e. the sect leader, and some other elders with him. And the elder says, these disciples this year are too disappointing. This year is even worse than last year. Is there really only one Su Changxing in the world? An elder one says, sect leader, when do you plan to retrieve the sword embryo from Su Changxing? And another elder says, yes, he has wasted countless resources for us. Even if we sell the entire prince's manor, we still won't break even. That immortal sword embryo is more precious than all the resources we had before combined. We must retrieve it. And the sect leader says, what's the difference between a sword that's unliable and a waste sword? Then the elder looks down, and just then a disciple comes running and he says, elders, sect leader, there's a big issue. And the elder asks, why are you so flustered? Then he is not able to pronounce Su Changxing's name properly, and he is a bit nervous. Then he slaps himself and starts explaining and he says, Su Changxing has come to the recruitment conference. As soon as the disciples hear this, everyone gets shocked, and they say, what? Does he have the courage to come back? What does he want? A useless person coming back for a beating? And as soon as Su Changxing's teacher hears this, she is shocked, but she thinks, Changxing, have you really recovered? Then we see Su Changxing and Xiao Siyu, and Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, Siyu, go participate in the first round of assessments, but remember not to rush to reveal your strength. So Xiao Siyu says, okay. Then I'll keep my cultivation at the late foundation building stage. Then Su Changxing goes towards the ground, and many disciples are staring at Su Changxing, and Su Changxing thinks, I hope Xiao Siyu passes the assessment quickly. I don't want to face those old enemies alone. And then two disciples recognize Su Changxing and call him senior brother. And Su Changxing is surprised and he thinks, looks like my good days are over. Then he pulls down the mask and looks back and asks what's the matter? And as soon as they see Su Changxing's face they become happy and say, it's really senior brother. And all the disciples congratulate Su Changxing and say, congratulations on your return, senior brother. Then one disciple looks at Su Changxing and he says, why can't I figure out his cultivation level? And another disciple says, yeah, is he really useless? And another disciple says, is he trying to reclaim his reputation in front of the 10 great holy lands? Then Su Changxing thinks, luckily, I learned the Qi concealment technique in advance. Otherwise, showing weakness in front of these guys would lead to a bad outcome. And then Su Hua comes there, and he says to Su Changxing, are you really Su Changxing? Su Changxing, do you even recognize me? And Su Changxing looks at Su Hua's face carefully but he says, not at all. And as soon as Su Hua hears this, he gets very angry and he thinks, I'm Su Hua, senior disciple of the great elder. You beat me up so badly before, now you're saying you don't remember at all. Is this what I'm supposed to say? But Su Hua calms himself down, and he again says to Su Changxing, Humph. You're a waste. Do you still want to go back to the Supreme Sword sect? But Su Changxing says, I never said I wanted to come back. I'm just here to accompany someone for the conference. And now Su Hua gets very angry and he says, even as a waste, he's acting all aloof in front of me. Look! And then some disciples say, quick, look at that testing stone. What's going on? It's impressive. And when Su Hua's attention goes towards the testing stone, golden color energy starts coming out from the testing stone, seeing which everyone is surprised. And the one doing this feat is Xiao Siyu. And the elder who is taking the test says, she has an innate Tao body. And seeing all these things, everyone is surprised, and the sect leader stands up and says, it's actually an innate Tao body. And the elder says, the second Su Changxing has appeared. Although her cultivation level is a bit lower, the brilliance of her Tao body is so strong. The Holy Land is going to have a new Tao body, haha. And Su Hua is a little surprised and he thinks, could this person be the one Su Changxing mentioned, the one he came with? No, it's impossible. An innate Tao body is rare once in a century. How could two people just happen to know each other? Now that I'm the senior disciple, if I can get close to this junior sister. And then Su Hua moves forward to attack Su Changxing and says to him, waste, get out of the way and let me through. At the same time he is thinking, it's more important to pursue the junior sister now. Let's ignore this waste for the time being. And Su Changxing thinks, looks like I need to use the White Emperor Immortal technique. But then Xiao Siyu quickly jumps to save Su Changxing and stands directly in front of Su Changxing and she says, who are you to talk to him like that? And Su Hua is a little shocked but Xiao Siyu releases her power because of which Su Hua falls away. And when all the elders and sect leaders see that Xiao Siyu is with Su Changxing they get even more shocked. Then Su Hua regains his composure, and he says to Su Changxing, I didn't expect senior brother Su to become a waste who needs a woman's protection. But Xiao Siyu says, a waste? Who told you Changxing is a waste? And as soon as the elders listen to Xiao Siyu, they all get a little confused and they say, could Su Changxing really have cultivation? It's impossible. If Su Changxing really did this, then he'll definitely become an immortal king in the future. Yeah, there's no way. And Su Hua challenges Su Changxing and says to him, don't waste, then Su Changxing, do you dare to spar with me? And Su Changxing replies to Su Hua in full attitude and he says, spar? You're even qualified? I'll deal with you later, yours enough for now, you can challenge me in the second round. Wyla, let's go. And Su Changxing starts to leave from there and Xiao Siyu holds Su Changxing's hand and goes with him smiling. Then both of them sit at a place and Xiao Siyu asks Su Changxing, Changxing, what do you mean by the second round challenge you just mentioned? And Su Changxing says, the Holy Land recruitment consists of 2 rounds. The first round is to test aptitude. In the second round, everyone can choose a Holy Land, and disciples of the Holy Land can challenge. The purpose is to test their strength. Of course, during the challenge, the cultivation level must be suppressed to the same level. Then Xiao Siyu says, that guy just now seems to have a grudge against you, he looks malicious, I'll help you deal with him later. And Su Changxing says to Xiao Siyu, although your cultivation level is high, you must not be careless. Because you just learned immortal technique, your mastery of spiritual techniques may not be as good as his. And Xiao Siyu puts her head on Su Changxing's shoulder and says, Changxing, are you really so caring about me? And Su Changxing says, of course, you're very important to me now. And Su Changxing looks at the elders and he thinks, and I have many enemies like the one just now. Then Xiao Siyu gets a little angry and she feels that Su Changxing is looking at some woman. And so he asks Su Changxing, Changxing, who are you looking at? Who is that woman? But Su Changxing tells him, I'm looking at your future master, I hope she can take care of you more. And Su Changxing's master becomes very happy and she thinks, Changxing, can you really come back again? And Su Changxing thinks, the previous actions of the original owner disappointed Xiao Yuning greatly. I hope to make up for it in the future. And now it is Xiao Siyu's turn for the second round, and so Su Changxing tells Xiao Siyu, "Go, the second round has started. I hope you can learn and grow in battle." And Xiao Siyu becomes happy because of Su Changxing's motivation, but Xiao Siyu's senior says, "Is he trying to provoke me, teaching you how to fight?" And Xiao Siyu goes towards the arena to fight with Su Hua, and Su Changxing is watching her go and he thinks, "Why does this Tsundere girl seem to treat all women as enemies? I hope there won't be any trouble in the future." And then Su Changxing's master and great elder come behind him, and Su Changxing's master says to him, "Changxing, are you okay?" And the great elder says, "What could happen to him? Brought back an innate Tao body. Do you want to come back with this?" Unfortunately, the sect has never had a precedent of taking back expelled disciples, but Su Changxing gives a very good answer to the great elder, and he says, "Come back? No, great elder, you're wrong. I just want to tell you, your disciple is just garbage." And the great elder gets very angry after listening to Su Changxing. And some disciples say, "Is senior brother Su crazy?" Yeah, even if they're at the same level, senior brother Su's mastery of spiritual techniques is not something that innate Tao body can resist. He's probably just bluffing. But Su Changxing does not pay much attention to what they say and he sits down. Then the great elder says, "I'd like to see how capable that girl really is." And then the elder who is testing says to Xiao Siyu, "Excuse me, Miss Xiao Siyu, which holy land would you like to join?" And Xiao Siyu says, "The Supreme Sword Sect." And then Su Hua comes in front of her and he says, "I'm Su Hua, a disciple of the Supreme Sword Sect, here to challenge." And Xiao Siyu says, "I've been waiting for you to come up. Less nonsense, come on." And then Su Hua moves forward to attack and he says, "Changxing, watch carefully. The person you're interested in is no different from garbage." And Su Hua is about to use 3-day sword technique on Xiao Siyu. And seeing this the disciples get very surprised and they start saying, "He is actually using the 3-day sword technique, isn't that against the rules?" Yeah, this sword technique contains sword momentum, it's not something that a true foundation building cultivator can use. The mentality of the Supreme Sword Sect disciple is not good. Yeah, to be so afraid of losing. And just then Xiao Siyu senior comes behind him and Xiao Siyu says to the senior, "He wants to kill me." And the senior says to Xiao Siyu, "You guessed right, this is your first time fighting for your life, don't be nervous. I'm familiar with the 3-day sword technique he's using, I will impart it to your consciousness. However, finding weaknesses and how to respond can only rely on you." And Xiao Siyu says, "Entering the door as a cultivation, relying on oneself is the key, disciples must understand this truth." And the senior starts putting her energy into Xiao Siyu. And Su Hua makes a dangerous attack on Xiao Siyu, but Xiao Siyu uses her sword and throws Su Hua away in one move. And seeing this Su Hua is surprised and thinks, "How is this possible? This girl can actually withstand yesterday's sword, even a foundation-building peak cultivator couldn't block this strike." And seeing Xiao Siyu's current situation the senior thinks, although Yu's meridians are pure and her talent is excellent, but her comprehension of the sword path is still lacking. She can only withstand but not find any weaknesses. And then Xiao Siyu's attention goes towards Su Changxing, which surprises her, and we see Su Changxing who is sitting and trying to understand the 3-day sword technique, and dangerous spiritual energy is emanating from within him, and Su Changxing thinks, Elder Baizhi actually passed the 3-day sword technique to Xiao Siyu, it's truly a blessing. And everyone is surprised to see Su Changxing's ability to explain. And Su Changxing has very easily understood the 3-day sword technique, and the shadow of the 3-day sword saint comes behind him. Everyone is surprised to see, this is the shadow of the 3-day sword saint. Could Su Changxing have deduced the complete 3-day sword technique just by watching Su Hua's moves? Is his talent so monstrous? Could he be the one who can comprehend all laws? Then Su Changxing opens his eyes and he says to Xiao Siyu, the 3-day sword technique, yesterday's sword, today's sword, tomorrow's sword, I have fully understood them. Follow my instructions and break his sword technique." And Xiao Siyu says, "Okay. I'll listen to you completely. I'll let them know how amazing my Changxing is. Then Su Hua attacks Su Changxing from behind, but Xiao Siyu notices, and she moves forward to block Su Hua's attack. Su Changxing tells Xiao Siyu, the 3-day sword technique, today's sword is powerful, but there will be openings in its peak position, and Xiao Siyu easily blocks Su Hua's attack, and Su Hua is surprised to see this and thinks, damn it, how does he know the flaw in the 3-day sword technique? It must be a blind cat encountering a dead mouse. And Su Changxing smiles and says the sword's momentum weakens, and it's difficult to adjust the spiritual power circulation. If the realm is insufficient, forcibly activating spiritual power is necessary to sustain it. And Xiao Siyu attacks Su Hua and pushes him away, and she attacks again, and injures Su Hua very badly, due to which Su Hua is defeated very easily, and Su Changxing stands in front of him and he says, the cost of forcibly activating spiritual power is severe pain throughout the body. I instructed you to attack your various flaws, amplifying this kind of pain several times over. It must be unbearable right now, huh? And Su Hua falls unconscious. And everybody is shocked to see all these things. And one elder says, he truly is a natural-born Tao body, with a body that comprehends all methods. And another elder says the sword master has indeed acquired a good disciple. With such exceptional talent, the future of the Supreme Sword sect looks promising. And the sect leader says, Changxing actually has a day when he's interested in women. And Xiao Siyu gets alert on seeing the sect leader, and she comes in front of Su Changxing, and she says, more than just being interested, Changxing has said that I am the woman he loves the most. For me, he has made countless plans. He's been considering me since joining the Supreme Sword sect. And the sect leader says, oh? Is that so? No wonder Changxing seems so unfamiliar today. Then Su Changxing starts laughing, but we see Xiao Siyu who is looking at the sect leader with angry eyes. And Su Changxing gets a little nervous and he thinks, it's not good. If we continue chatting, the Yandere might cause trouble. And Su Changxing tells Xiao Siyu, why don't we go register our identities first? And Su Changxing thinks, it's better to separate them, just in case. And then there is an announcement, Taiqing Holy Land, Holy Lord Li Qingxiu, here to pay respects to Su Changxing. And when Su Changxing hears this, he gets surprised. And we see that many masters of the Holy Land have arrived, and everyone is surprised to see this, and they say to Su Changxing, Qianji Holy Land, Holy Lord Qianzu, here to pay respects to Su Changxing. Yaoguang Holy Land, Holy Lord Li Luo, here to pay respects to Su Changxing. Taiyanging Holy Land, Holy Lord Wang Linhai. And all the disciples are surprised to see so many holy lords, and they say, heavens, it's rare to see even one holy lord on a regular basis. But today so many have come? Paying respects? Are they all here for Su Changxing? And Su Changxing gets a little nervous and thinks, what? Did I stir up trouble with the holy lords today? And the female holy lord says, Su Changxing, are you willing to join our Taiqing Holy Land? And the bald holy lord says, fellow Taoist Li, Su Changxing is obviously a genius in practicing fate techniques. Don't mislead this rare all-comprehending being. And the disciples say, two holy lords, Su Changxing is one of us from the Supreme Sword sect. And both holy lords say, didn't you kick him out of the sect? And we see that some more holy lords come who are now asking Su Changxing to join their sect, and they also give a huge offer to Su Changxing, and one holy lord says, Su Changxing, how about joining the Yaoguang Holy Land? I'm willing to make an exception and accept male disciples for you. And Su Changxing thinks, what all-comprehending being, what natural Tao body. Can you all stop acting crazy here? I, Su Changxing, am really just a waste. And Su Changxing thinks, these holy lords have changed their attitude drastically, simply because they think I've been given a second chance at life and transformed into an unparalleled genius. If I agree, my true strength might be exposed the moment I leave. If Xiao Siyu finds out I'm deceiving her, the consequences would be unimaginable. And the bald holy lord says, little friend? What do you think? And Su Changxing says, huh? What did you say? And the bald holy lord laughs and says, if Su Changxing agrees, I, Qian, am willing to impart the Qianji's secret technique to you. And all three holy lords think, this guy is so cunning. Everyone knows that the Qianji's secret technique is only passed down to the next holy lord. He's blatantly trying to buy people's hearts. And Su Changxing is about to say something, then the holy lord starts saying, is the position of the next holy lord really that valuable? If Changxing wishes, I can relinquish the position of the holy lord right now. And the female holy lord says, I am willing to offer a celestial artifact. And another female holy lord says, I am willing to give all the resources of the Holy Land to Su Xiaoyu. And Xiao Siyu is shocked and she says, damn it, Su Changxing is my only love, how can I let them fight over him? And the senior says, let's not rush. Do these guys really think they can sway Su Changxing? We came to the Supreme Sword Sect just to facilitate your growth. These things are just a joke in the eyes of the immortal. And Xiao Siyu says, exactly. If it were any other cultivator, they might do anything, but Su Changxing, absolutely not. And Su Changxing is watching all those holy lords fight. Then he is about to say something, and a female holy lord turns back and she says, Su Changxing, have we been arguing too much and making you unhappy? Then Su Changxing says, Changxing is grateful for the appreciation of the seniors, but please allow Changxing to refuse. Also he thinks, it's a good thing, but I am not fortunate enough to enjoy it. And a holy lord says, where does Su Changxing want to go then? So Su Changxing says, to the Supreme Taishang Sword Sect. And hearing this, the bald holy lord gets surprised and he says, why? Don't you blame them for once expelling you from the sect? So Su Changxing says, it's because the Supreme Sword Sect has someone Changxing cannot bear to part with. And Xiao Siyu thinks, I am indeed the person Changxing loves the most. And the senior says, I knew it, Su Changxing must be just like me, looking down on these mortal things. And Su Changxing thinks, in general, I am more familiar with the Supreme Sword Sect. Besides, the Supreme Sword Sect is the foremost among the 10 great holy lands. If I want to survive, there's a better chance here. And as soon as the disciples listen to Su Changxing's words, tears start falling from their eyes, and they become very happy. And one elder says while crying, Changxing, you forgive and forget, so magnanimous, truly making us feel ashamed. The Supreme Sword Sect, no, the Taishang Holy Land, have you, it's simply the glory for us. And Su Changxing says, actually, I'm not that amazing. Then other holy lords also become happy, and they call Su Changxing very humble. Then all the holy lords start leaving and say, Su Changxing, since that's the case, let's meet again when fate allows, haha. And the bald holy lord says, 2 innate Tao bodies, among them Su Changxing is the one who comprehends all laws. In this recruitment event, the Supreme Sword Sect not only gained disciples but also won prestige. And the female holy lord says, today, the Supreme Sword Sect should have suffered a loss of reputation due to Su Hua's matter, and lost the attention of the dynasty due to the loss of Su Changxing. But now the situation has turned around, the sect's reputation is flourishing even more. It really makes one wonder. And the bald holy lord says, so, is all of this someone's intentional effort to re-establish the position of the Supreme Sword Sect as the leader of the Holy Land? Then the female holy lord says, even the holy lords are being calculated. We've really underestimated this kid. After they leave, Su Changxing thinks, sigh, returning to the crowd of cultivators as a waste. What's the difference from throwing a lamb into a pack of wolves? I just want to cling to a big thigh. Why is it so hard to be a useless young master? Then an elder says to Xiao Siyu, Miss Zhao, please follow me to the Supreme Sword Sect to register your identity. And Xiao Siyu says to Su Changxing, Changxing, I'll go and come back soon. Then Su Changxing's master says, Changxing, your master understands. You've endured so much slander by concealing your true abilities and intelligence, all to help your master establish authority in front of the elders, to maintain your master's power and prestige, right? And Su Changxing thinks, I really didn't mean it like that. I can't just say it was to help Xiao Siyu get the treasure of the Supreme Sword Sect. Then his master puts her finger on Su Changxing's forehead and she says, I didn't expect you to be so good at hiding things. You even kept it from your master. And Su Changxing says, wait, I didn't. But his master says, there's no need to hide it, your intentions, the master understands. With a disciple like you, what else could the master ask for? And then the great elder says, Sect Master, I have something to ask. So the sect leader asks him to speak, so the great elder says, where is that sword embryo now? And the sect leader says, Changxing, what did you do with it? So Su Changxing gets into deep thought and hesitantly says, that sword embryo. And the sect leader thinks, the sword talent that Changxing displayed today is astonishing. I believe that the celestial sword has already chosen its master. Why not take this opportunity to build up Changxing's reputation? And the great elder thinks, once the sword embryo acknowledges its master, it will become a celestial treasure. It's even more likely to become the sect's treasure if Su Changxing becomes the master. And Su Changxing tells both of them, I gave it to Xiao Siyu. And as soon as they hear this, both of them are shocked. And the sect leader says, what? You gave the sword embryo to this new disciple? That's the sect's. And Su Changxing says the sword embryo has recognized Xiao Siyu as its master. They are now connected mentally. You all needn't worry about that sword anymore. And on hearing this, both are surprised, and silence prevails at that place. Then the great elder says, Xiao Siyu is now a disciple of our supreme sword sect, and the sword embryo recognizes her as its master. Her future cultivation knows no bounds. Changxing, you've brought a good disciple to our supreme sword sect. And the sect leader thinks, so Su Changxing gained such astonishing sword talent through his own efforts? Changxing, how much strength have you been hiding? And just then Xiao Siyu comes running to Su Changxing, and she tells Su Changxing, Changxing, now we're in the same sect. And Su Changxing thinks, from now on, I'll rely on you for my safety in the supreme sword sect. Then Su Changxing tells his master, that we should return to the sect. And Su Changxing thinks, the night is long and full of dreams. If we don't leave now, who knows what trouble might arise later. And her master says, although the selection process isn't over yet, the Supreme Sword Sect has already gained enough attention today. It's time to go back. And she thinks, I didn't expect someone like you, who's always been carefree, to understand when to quit. It seems the Supreme Sword Sect has a promising successor. And she says, the void boat is docked within Taiching. Come with me. And Xiao Siyu holds Su Changxing's hand and asks him to come with her. And Su Changxing says, Siyu, you're getting too close. But Xiao Siyu says, what's there to fear? You're my fiancée after all. I will become stronger, then we can be together as you said. And Su Changxing says, then, you better work hard. And the sect leader is seeing all this and she says, oh Changxing, I plan to inform the sect about your return in advance. To help rebuild your senior brother's position in front of everyone. And Su Changxing gets a little nervous and he says, there's no need. And the sect leader says, but this concerns your reputation of being expelled from the sect. And Su Changxing says, how can I selfishly occupy everyone's time for my own sake? Besides, reputation is something you must regain by yourself. Otherwise, even if it's known to others, it's just an empty shell. If it attracts a bunch of ignorant disciples, I'll be in trouble. And the senior says, what do you think? And Xiao Siyu says yes. Then she says to Su Changxing, this is obviously just an excuse, and Su Changxing gets a little surprised. But Su Changxing doesn't give any answer to Xiao Siyu, and still Xiao Siyu says, Changxing just really wants to quickly return to the sect, he's only waiting for me to choose to live with him on the first peak. And Su Changxing thinks, luckily it hasn't been exposed yet. And Su Changxing says, Siyu, do you know what's most important now? So Xiao Siyu asks, the most important? And Su Changxing moves ahead and he says, it's restraint and being low-key. At the same time he thinks, if our popularity rises again and attracts more disciples to come, what should we do? And after listening to Su Changxing, Xiao Siyu and the sect leader both think, I never expected the master/disciple's awareness to be so high. And Su Changxing thinks while crying, it's really hard being the villain. And then a very big boat comes in front of them, and the sect leader says to Xiao Siyu, although a grand sword master can slay from thousands of miles away, it's a bit wasteful to use it for traveling, so generally, when going out, we use this void boat as a means of transportation. And Xiao Siyu is surprised to see the big boat. And Su Changxing thinks, I never expected the future empress of the sword sect to show such a childish expression. Then Su Changxing says, Master, Xiao Siyu has just endured a tough battle and needs to rest properly. If there's nothing else, as new disciples, we'll go to the last room. And Su Changxing thinks, hurry back to the room. If the concealment technique fails, my true cultivation will be discovered immediately. And Xiao Siyu thinks, he's looking out for me. He cares for me. He's genuine towards me. And the sect master says, he actually called himself a new disciple. Well then, go rest. When we arrive at the sect, I'll have someone inform you both. And Su Changxing and Xiao Siyu come on the boat, and they start going towards the room. But then there are some disciples in front of Su Changxing, and one of them is Su Hua. And Su Changxing thinks, what does Su Hua want to do again? But Su Changxing does not pay much attention and moves on. And Su Hua thinks, what tough battle. It was clearly a crushing victory. For a defeated opponent, he not only did not kick him when he's down, but also left me a bit of dignity in front of everyone. Such magnanimity, such a state of mind. Senior brother. I'm not as good as you. Then Su Changxing reaches his room. And he starts to relax and he says, finally I can relax for a bit. It's so noisy outside, the void boat should have taken off by now. But then Xiao Siyu comes to ruin Su Changxing's rest, and she sits on Su Changxing's lap and Su Changxing asks Xiao Siyu what exactly she wants to do. And Xiao Siyu starts coming even closer to Su Changxing. And Su Changxing thinks, come on, I'm just a normal guy. Don't test me like this, okay? This is the future empress, my end will be miserable. And Xiao Siyu thinks, only when faced with the woman he loves will a man feel shy. My fiancée is so shy. When we do that kind of thing in the future. And then Xiao Siyu feels a little awkward, and Su Changxing asks her, what's wrong with you? So Xiao Siyu says, suddenly, I feel dizzy. So Su Changxing picks up Xiao Siyu and says to her, you might be a bit seasick. Let's go back to bed and rest properly. And Su Changxing makes Xiao Siyu lie on the bed. And Xiao Siyu says, Changxing, you're so kind, thank you. And Su Changxing says, rest well, I'll call you when we arrive. And Su Changxing's body is shivering and he thinks, seeing but not eating, it's really sad. And Su Changxing leaves the room. Then Xiao Siyu opens her eyes and she sits down, and she says, he really didn't do anything? And his senior says, what are you thinking? Su Changxing's state of mind has long surpassed that of ordinary people. How could he be fooled by such a small trick? So Xiao Siyu says, why could he endure it? Does he really like me? And the senior says, Su Changxing has nothing to fear, and his ability to endure just proves his extraordinary nature. When we arrive at the Supreme Sword Sect, you will have countless opportunities to cultivate with him. Why worry about just one moment? And on hearing the senior's words, Xiao Siyu becomes happy and she says, one day, I will devour him completely. Then we see Su Changxing who is doing cultivation. And the boat is moving forward towards its destination. After some time, Su Changxing is enjoying the beautiful scenery and he says, the scenery is magnificent, surrounded by spiritual energy. The Supreme Sword Sect truly deserves to be the leader among the 10 holy lands. And then the sect leader and the great leader come behind him. And the sect leader says, Changxing's love for the sect is truly admirable. The great elder says, yes, although he's supposed to be the senior brother, he should have been tired of such grand scenes long ago, yet he still expresses such admiration. It's evident how much he loves the sect. And Su Changxing thinks, I can't just say that I've hardly left my room in these 10 years. And the sect leader says, Changxing, do you still remember that handyman disciple you brought back then? And Su Changxing says, I did that. So the sect leader explains, that disciple has been unable to reach the Qi training stage for several years, and coupled with the fact that her mentor's life is at its end, without the protection of her mentor, it's really difficult for her to continue practicing in our Supreme Sword Sect. And Su Changxing says the cultivation world is cruel indeed, perhaps the mortal world is more suitable for her. And the sect leader says so her mentor plans to find an opportunity in these days to send her out of the sect. And then Su Changxing feels something and thinks, it's happening again, a new character plotline, the second chosen one. That day, at the orphan auction, there were only malicious men around. Come on! A young lady in her prime, although her vision is blurry, her face and figure are excellent. The highest bidder gets her. Until he suddenly appeared. I bid 500 taels. Do you want to come with me? I'll take you to the best immortal sect and personally teach you the methods of cultivation. I thought he would be the one to give me opportunities, my benefactor who would change my fate. I bought you just because I thought it would be fun to take away something someone else valued. Do you really think you're my disciple? Fool's dream. I never expected him to be such a frivolous and evil person who treats others as playthings. He left me in the sect to suffer humiliation. Sink or swim. From today on, I, Shenrilan, have no more attachment to the Supreme Sword sect. I swear. In the future, I will personally take the life of that fraud Su Changxing. I remembered, 3 years later, the invincible demon Lord Shenroilian appeared. Su Changxing met his end at the prince's mansion. And Su Changxing once again gets into a new problem and he says, Su Changxing, as the villain, you really go looking for trouble everywhere, very dedicated. Admiration, you have my admiration. Who made you go looking for trouble? Who made you cause trouble? You dare to provoke a pure protagonist template like the orphan being auctioned. I'll beat you. I'll beat you. Then his master says, then I'll send Su Hua to get rid of her. Shinruo Yuan's talent is too poor, not suitable to stay in Supreme Sword sect. But Su Changxing says, wait. Master, please hold on, and the sect leader is surprised. What is the matter? Then Su Changxing says, Master, I just thought about it and feel that this matter still needs consideration. And Su Changxing thinks, if you really let her leave, be prepared to collect the corpse of your disciple. And the sect leader is surprised to hear Su Changxing's words, and Su Changxing tells her, among us cultivators, there are many late bloomers. If we lose talent due to a momentary mistake, wouldn't that be a loss for the Supreme Sword sect? And Su Changxing thinks, there are more important matters than dealing with a few villains. Taking care of your precious disciple is paramount. And the sect leader says, I never expected Changxing to consider the Supreme Sword sect so thoroughly. Let's follow your suggestion and postpone this matter for now. And Su Changxing thinks, the blackened CG scene hasn't reappeared. Looks like this crisis has temporarily passed. Anyway, let's go make contact with this Shinruan. A demon lord who can rival the entire Great Way, Taishang Holy Land, cultivation world in just 3 years. If we can win her over, wouldn't it be a double insurance? And then Xiao Siyu comes there and she says, Changxing, what are you thinking? And Su Changxing says, after the void boat arrives at Supreme Sword sect, I have some minor matters to attend to. Later, you can arrange your accommodation on the peak by yourself. There are many guest rooms in my cave mansion, choose any one you like. And Xiao Siyu asks, choose any one? So Su Changxing says yes, and Xiao Siyu hugs Su Changxing and she says, then I want to sleep in your bedroom. And Su Changxing unwillingly tells Xiao Siyu, sure, whatever you like. After a while, we see Shinruo Yuan who is sad, and she says, Master, from now on, only Shenrilan will be left here. And then some female disciples come there who have come to trouble Shinruo Yuan. And one of the girls kicks the door open and she says, Shinruo Yuan, your master is dead. Do you still have the face to stay in Supreme Sword sect? Get out quickly, from now on, this will be our cave mansion. And Shinruo Yuan comes forward to stop those three and she says, this is Granny's residence, no one can take it away. But that girl raises her hand on Xiao Siyu and throws her away, and she says, a complete waste without spiritual power. How dare you talk back to me? Shinruo Yuan, do you know? Senior brother has returned, he didn't turn into a useless person at all. And as soon as Shinruo Yuan hears this she becomes sad, and she thinks, why did my caring master and granny leave, while that scum who let me suffer is still alive? If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be bullied here by everyone. And that female disciple says, don't even think that senior brother will come back to save you. Senior brother is the pride of heaven, you, a waste like you, will never be worthy of him. And Shinruo Yuan thinks, I just want to live peacefully. Why does everyone have to treat me like this? It's my fault for being blind and trusting that scum, leading to the current situation. If I could cultivate, if I were strong enough, I would definitely take care of these people, and the entire Supreme Sword sect. All of them. And that girl is saying, ha ha ha, look at her pathetic appearance, like a dog. And just then someone comes to that place, and it is Su Changxing. And Su Changxing is very angry, and as that girl turns back and looks at Su Changxing, she gets scared. And both the girls think, I didn't expect senior brother to come looking for her. Offending the senior brother will really be in trouble. Then all three girls bend down in front of Su Changxing and say, it's me, I was wrong. Yes, we won't dare anymore. And Su Changxing says to all three, get out quickly, remember, don't spread what happened today. And all three get scared. Then Su Changxing thinks, I didn't even do anything, why are they so frightened? And all three start leaving. Then one of the girls says, what should we do? I can't understand why senior brother would come back to find this useless person. And the other girl says, yeah, and even playing the hero to save her, it's not his character. And specifically ordering us not to spread today's events. And the first girl says, I understand, senior brother must be thinking about how he picked up this toy back then and now wants to play with her in a new way. Truly worthy of senior brother. So cunning. And we see the inside scene. Su Changxing is standing in front of Shinruo Yuan, and Su Changxing moves his hand forward and asks Shinruo Yuan, are you alright? And Shinruo Yuan asks Su Changxing, did you save me? May I ask who you are? And Su Changxing thinks, according to the plot, she's currently in a state of impaired vision. Should I reveal my identity? And Shinruo Yuan cryingly says to Su Changxing, I apologize for the presumption. You must be a senior with a very high realm, to be able to drive away those disciples without resorting to violence. And Su Changxing thinks, she's imagining things quite reasonably, but I don't know what's wrong with those few people, they looked as if they'd seen a ghost. I've always been portrayed as friendly and charming, why are they suddenly scared of me? And Shinruo Yuan says to Su Changxing, thank you very much for helping me out. Tonight, I will leave the Supreme Sword sect. I will definitely repay this favor in the future, senior brother. And Su Changxing says, what repayment? And Su Changxing starts getting visions of the future, and he sees Shinruo Yuan attacking him. And seeing this, Su Changxing thinks, how is this repaying a favor? And thinking this, Su Changxing tries to stop Shinruo Yuan from leaving, and he says, this concerns the future. I suggest you reconsider. Also he thinks, if you leave, won't I suffer? And Shinruo Yuan starts crying and she says, Senior, do you think I still have a future? With both eyes unclear and my dear master granny now deceased and ascended, there's only endless humiliation and bullying in Supreme Sword sect for me. And Su Changxing says to Shinruo Yuan, actually, I know you, in my eyes you have great talent. And Shinruo Yuan gets surprised and she says, I have talent? But for a long time, everyone has said I'm useless. And she thinks, Senior's strength is formidable, there's no reason for you to say that to me, and I can't bring you any benefits. And Su Changxing says to Shinruo Yuan, don't worry, I'm your friend, you don't need to be afraid. And Su Changxing thinks, anyway, it's like this now, and she can't see clearly, doesn't know who I am. Let's act like a big shot first and stabilize her before revealing my identity. And he says, by the way, are your eyes not good? So Shinruo Yuan says, it's an old illness from childhood, plus, my recent sadness over my granny's passing, but senior need not worry. And Su Changxing gives medicine to Shinruo Yuan and tells her, this is a clearing and turbid pill, it will help your eyes, but one pill won't cure it, this medicine must be taken for a long time, I'll come back later. And Shinruo Yuan says, Senior, I never expected that in the Supreme Sword sect, besides my granny, there would be someone who cares about me. So Su Changxing smilingly says, you don't need to call me senior, just call me senior brother. I have some things to attend to, so I'll leave now. And Su Changxing thinks, if I don't go back soon I don't know what that woman will do. Then Su Changxing starts going towards his room, and Shinruo Yuan says to him, thank you, senior brother. After some time Su Changxing is outside his room and he says, Su Changxing, this tyrant scum, even the place he lives in is well maintained. No time to enjoy the scenery. Just now, in order to leave early, I agreed for Xiao Siyu, that girl, to stay in my bedroom. I should go see what trouble she's caused. And as soon as he goes inside his room he gets very shocked and he says, "What is all this after all?" But we see that Su Changxing's room looks very different, and he is surprised to see the things around him. Then he calls Xiao Siyu's name, but then Xiao Siyu holds Su Changxing's hand, due to which Su Changxing gets a little scared. But then Xiao Siyu pulls him towards herself and Su Changxing is on top of Xiao Siyu, and Xiao Siyu says to him, "Changxing, do you like the new bedroom?"